January 24th, 1848 changed everything. James Marshall discovered gold at Sutter's Mill in Coloma, California. He found flakes of gold in the American River while building a sawmill for John Sutter. Marshall tried to keep the discovery secret. He failed completely. Word spread like wildfire. By May, San Francisco newspapers confirmed the discovery, but most Americans dismissed it as exaggeration. California sat thousands of miles from the eastern states. Information travelled slowly. People needed proof. President James Polk provided that proof. In December 1848, he displayed California gold before Congress. The president himself confirmed the discovery. America went mad. The gold rush exploded in 1849.
Any luck yet?
Thousands dropped everything and headed west. They became known as the FortyNiners. Farmers abandoned their fields mid-season, merchants closed their shops, soldiers deserted their posts, sailors jumped ship in San Francisco Harbour. The fever infected everyone. Getting to California meant choosing between three brutal options. The overland route crossed 2,000 miles of wilderness. Wagons rolled across prairies, deserts and mountains. The journey took 6 months. Travellers faced starvation, disease, hostile encounters and death. The trail became littered with abandoned possessions and graves. The sea route around Cape Horn covered 18,000 miles. Ships sailed from East Coast ports down around South America and back up to San Francisco. This voyage took 6 to 8 months. Passengers endured storms, spoiled food, and cramped conditions.
A few more weeks at least.
But it was safer than crossing by land. The Panama shortcut offered a third option. Travellers sailed to Panama, crossed the isthmus by foot and mule, then caught another ship to California. This route took only 2 to 3 months. But Panama killed people. Yellow fever and cholera ravaged travellers in the jungle. Bodies piled up in Panama City as people waited for ships north. Despite the dangers, people came. 80,000 arrived in California in 1849 alone. The population exploded. San Francisco transformed overnight from a sleepy village of 200 people into a chaotic city of 25,000. Tents covered the hills. Ships abandoned in the harbour became hotels, stores and jails. The city grew faster than anyone could control. Early arrivals found gold easily. They panned rivers and streams. Gold dust and nuggets appeared in their pans. Some men found fortunes in days. Stories spread of miners making thousands of dollars in a week. These tales fueled the madness back east. But most arrivals came too late for easy pickings. By 1850, simple panning no longer worked. The surface gold was gone. Mining became harder, more technical, more expensive. Individual miners needed equipment, supplies, and luck. Mining camps sprang up wherever gold appeared. These camps had names like Rough and Ready, Hangtown, and You Bet. They consisted of tents and crude shacks thrown together in muddy valleys. Thousands of men lived in these camps, all men. Few women made the journey west. The camps were violent, dirty, and desperate. Life in the camps followed a brutal routine. Men worked from dawn to dusk. They stood in freezing water, bent over, sifting through gravel. Backs ached, hands blistered and bled. The work destroyed bodies. Many men gave up and went home broke. Prices in the camps reached insane levels. Everything had to be shipped in from San Francisco or further. A single egg cost $1. A pound of butter cost $6. These were 1850 prices when labourers back east earned $1 per day. Merchants made fortunes selling supplies to miners. The real money came from selling picks and shovels, not swinging them. John Sutter, The man on whose land gold was discovered lost everything. Miners overran his property. They stole his livestock, destroyed his crops, squatted on his land. Sutter spent years in legal battles trying to prove ownership. He died broke and bitter. The gold rush destroyed the man who started it. The gold rush created a society without rules. California had minimal law enforcement, no established courts, no real government. The sudden population explosion overwhelmed what little authority existed. Chaos ruled. Violence became routine. Arguments over mining claims erupted into gunfights. Claim jumping was common. Someone would work a claim all day, then return the next morning to find others working it. Disputes were settled with fists, knives and guns. Bodies appeared regularly in camps. Few investigations followed. Vigilante justice filled the void. Miners formed committees to deal with crime. These committees held quick trials and delivered swift punishment. Hanging became the preferred sentence. Towns built permanent gallows. Hangtown got its name from the tree where vigilantes hanged criminals. Sometimes they got the right man, often they did not. Gambling consumed the camps. Men gambled everything, their gold dust, their claims, their equipment. Gambling halls operated 24 hours. Card games ran continuously. Miners who struck gold often lost it all in a single night. Professional gamblers followed the gold rush west. They took more gold from miners than most miners ever dug up. Alcohol flowed constantly. Whiskey cost a fortune, but men paid. Saloons stood at the centre of every camp. Drunk miners caused fights, accidents and deaths. Alcoholism ravaged the mining population. Men drank to forget the cold, the exhaustion, the failure. Disease killed more than violence. Cholera swept through camps with terrifying speed. Dysentery was constant. Scurvy affected miners who lived on salt pork and hardtack. Pneumonia struck men who worked in cold water all day. Medical care barely existed. Doctors were scarce and expensive. Most sick miners simply died. The few women who came west faced unique exploitation. Some worked as cooks or laundresses and made good money. Miners paid exorbitant prices for clean clothes and home-cooked meals. But many women ended up in prostitution. Brothels operated openly in every camp and town. The sex trade was brutal and dangerous. Disease, violence, and addiction killed prostitutes young. Chinese immigrants arrived in large numbers starting in 1850. They came seeking their own fortune. Americans called it Gum Shan, the Gold Mountain. Chinese miners worked claims that white miners had abandoned as played out. Using patient techniques, they often extracted gold that others missed. This made them resented. Racism turned violent. White miners drove Chinese workers from profitable claims. They passed laws forbidding Chinese from owning claims. The foreign miners' tax specifically targeted Chinese and Mexican miners. It charged them exorbitant fees just to work. Violence against Chinese miners was common and rarely punished. Some camps banned Chinese entirely. Mexican and Chilean miners faced similar treatment. Many had mining experience from their home countries. They understood techniques that Americans did not. This expertise bred resentment. Americans wanted the gold for themselves. They viewed all foreigners as invaders. Race riots broke out in several camps. Native Americans suffered the worst. The gold rush was genocide for California's indigenous peoples. Miners invaded their lands, destroyed their food sources and murdered them. The state of California paid bounties for Indian scalps. Vigilantes hunted Native Americans for sport. Between 1848 and 1870, California's native population dropped from 150,000 to 30,000. Disease, starvation, and murder killed them. Environmental destruction followed the miners everywhere. Hydraulic mining stripped entire hillsides. High-pressure water cannons blasted away soil and rock to reach gold deposits. This technique destroyed landscapes. Sediment choked rivers and buried valleys. Mercury, used to separate gold from ore, poisoned waterways. The environmental damage lasted generations. By 1852, individual mining was dead. The easy gold was gone. What remained required capital, equipment, and workers. Mining became an industrial operation. Companies bought up claims and hired workers for wages. The independent prospector became a wage labourer.
Let's move.
The dream died. Most 49ers went home broke. They had spent everything getting to California. They found no gold. They could not afford the journey home. Many stayed in California, working whatever jobs they could find. They had come for gold and found only failure.